Three, two, good morning, and welcome to your Wednesday edition of the Morning Jog. I am your host, Matt Cohan, and I am joined by two honest, upstanding citizens with, I don't think you guys have a criminal record, do you?
I got pulled over once, but I got off, obviously.
Of course you did. I'm in the clear, Matty. For now, I'm actually in the clear. I'm okay.
Good for you.
You know, people say it's privilege when you get off like that. I say it's knowing how to talk.
Well, you weaseled out of a vehicular manslaughter charge, Frank.
I really think that's a little bit of both. I do think there's a certain art to it, though.
Yeah, there's an art.
Good. We probably should have done a background check on the jog here, but glad to see you guys are in good standing here. Fellows, first story. Stop me if you've heard this before, but the NBA bubble has earned itself some more bad press after King Center Raquan Holmes crossed the Disney campus line to pick up delivery food and must quarantine for 10 days. He's got 8 days remaining. On Monday, Holmes issued an apology saying, after the initial quarantine period, I briefly and accidentally crossed the NBA campus line to pick up a food delivery. I am currently in quarantine and have 8 days left. I apologize for my actions and look forward to rejoining my teammates for our playoff push. Robbie, what's your current temperature on the NBA bubble season?
It's the biggest spectacle right now going on. I mean, each day there's something that comes out of this bubble, and it could not be more entertaining. I'm very proud of the players because they busted the other players' balls that were complaining about the food and everything. And did it look horrendous? Yes, absolutely. But I appreciated the players coming out and letting them know that it could be worse. With that being said, you set this all up. You got this all set up to have the playoffs, do the bubble. You would think that Adam Silver, whoever got this all going, would have thought of some way that the guys could at least get delivery. You know, you'd think that they would have at least thought of some sort of system where they could get a Postmate. So I kind of feel for the guy. I really do.
You know, it's in a way, hearing stories like this to me is kind of fun. It has the whole feel of like summer basketball camp when late at night you'd like call a pizza delivery service and sneak out to meet the guy with, you know, the $20 you had. And that's what he's doing here, right? Clearly the food is inadequate for these guys. I genuinely don't think that it's NBA players being such divas that they are like, well, this isn't good enough for me. One of the problems is that NBA teams stay in, Robbie knows, 4 seasons or Ritzes on the road, and anything they want, these teams have a guy whose entire job it is to get these guys with whatever they want, whether it's an Xbox to plug into their hotel TV or, you know, maybe a hooker. I don't know. And so to go from them eating what I would assume are like sushi dinners or sirloin tips, really, really good food, to this, what we saw from that Fire Festival picture, that joke that went viral or whatever, clearly the food situation is not being addressed. And the drop-off in quality for them has been hard. And you've got guys who are kind of going over the picket line, so to speak, to get what they want and need. And I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened more, but I think that seeing how this quarantine clock resets when you break the rules is going to discourage guys from doing it. That said, these dudes are 6'8", 7 foot tall, exercising 4 hours a day. You need to get them the food they need.
Right.
So figure it out. There's too much money at stake.
It's got to be some sort of, I mean, for a delivery, there's got to be some sort of service. It's got to be something.
It's become like chic to hate on it now. Like the players are doing like the shotgun the beer challenge. Like, we don't care about the bubble. So, and Rondo last week, he kind of swung and a miss when he posted that photo of what looked like a really nice hotel room. And he was like, oh, this is like the Motel 6. I was like, dude, I've never stayed in a hotel that nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there will be a financial penalty if a player breaks quarantine once seeding games start on July 30th. Each game missed will project roughly a 1% salary. So the home situation would have cost him close to $50,000 every game missed. So there is a little penalty to stay in line.
Wow.
All right, fellas, while we're on the topic of disastrous sports stories, the group headed up by Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez put in a reported $1.7 billion on the Mets last week. While they're already known to be backed by Vitamin Water and Body Armor co-founder Mike Repole, as well as Florida Panthers owner Vinny Viola, ESPN's Vaughn McClure reports that a host of other highly recognizable names are part of the group. Among them are Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher, Cleveland Browns offensive tackle Joe Thomas, and Kansas City tight end Travis Kelce, Washington Wizards guard Bradley Beal, Denver Nuggets center Mason Plumlee, and ex-Cowboys running back DeMarco Murray. Francis, I mean, that is a cast of characters there. What do you think?
Dude, this is the thing about this Mets ownership buying story. It's starting to sound like Joseph and the Technicolor ownership team. I mean, how many random people can get involved in a bid? I've heard news that Portnoy from Barstool might be interested in potentially investing, which would be hilarious. I guess at this point, what's happening is usually when a sports team is bought, there's the lead investor, the buyer, the owner, whatever, and then there are minority shareholders who get involved. And what we're hearing is the celebrity names of these minority shareholders. And usually, a minority shareholder is some hedge fund 500 millionaire who wants 2 courtside seats to every game and throws in his money, and we don't know who that guy is, so it's not publicized, right? But given that these are all athletes and celebrities, we're hearing these lists, and I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool. I think there's like this element of owned by players themselves and former athletes. I think it'd be a fun team to play for, but at the same time, I wonder how much of a power struggle would there be? How much ego would get involved if, all these massive stars were vying for and asking for tickets or suites to every home game?
Took the words right out of my mouth. It's such a bizarre cast of athletes too. It's not even like cream of the crop. It's kind of like DeMarco Murray. It's like guys that you remember that were in the league, but then you would never see owning the Mets. I can't stand Alex Rodriguez. I think he's one of the biggest phonies out there. As a Yankee fan, I already don't like the Mets. It gives them even more reason for me to hate them. I don't think he'll ever be considered as a Yankee, and he never should. I can't stand the guy. Do you follow him on TikTok?
No. How is he?
Follow Alex Rodriguez on TikTok. I guarantee you 3 to 4 talks after, you won't be able to stand the guy. I mean, I have such a strong stance when it comes to A-Rod. I just think he's such a tool. He really is.
Dude, his PR person needs to be up for like Time Person of the Year. The way that, dude, he had 2 portraits painted of himself as a centaur in his bedroom. And then now he's like the View's favorite guest. It's like he pulled that Chris Angel magic trick somehow.
All these steroid guys, Matty, McGuire, Bonds, even the ones that have admitted it, they were never able to bounce back the way that he did. This guy lied and lied and lied. And all of a sudden we just totally forget that it happened, that he's clear.
Yeah. It's because he's marrying J-Lo. That's what happened. Everybody loves
but
J-Lo.
Even before then, he was in the baseball booth. He was like this respected. It's like, dude, this is the guy who opted out on Game 4 of the World Series instead of his last
time heals all wounds. I don't mind him, honestly.
The chances they gave this guy to just own up to what he did. How many times he couldn't do it?
And then he tries to act like he's some sort of moral arbiter on the Astros situation, dude. And then Paul LaDuca, former Met, came out and said, like,
that was beautiful.
Yeah, he said something like he's a guy who looks at you when he's talking to you, but he's not really talking to you. It's like that.
Yeah. And I just hate that he should never be considered a Yankee. He had 1 good year. After that, we paid him a fortune. He stinks. Sorry, I just dislike the guy so much.
Yeah. I dislike him too, but then I kind of like him now, though. I've always hated him, and now I'm like, should I like this guy? Like,
I've come around on him too. I have.
You're a believer.
Favorite athlete out there, and it's not even close.
Who is? Oh, least favorite?
I can't stand him.
Yeah. Well, he's winning right now, dude. He has turned it around.
He is. Can't deny that.
All right, let's finish the show on a dark note. What do you say, fellas?
Great. Let's.
Yeah, Francis is all for it. Ghislane Maxwell was arrested by the FBI in New Hampshire and charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury. She is facing 35 years in the slammer. The alleged fixer and recruiter for Epstein's underage sex ring has already been forced to wear paper clothes and sleep on paper sheets while incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, so she doesn't off herself. Prison officials are also following protocols that ensure Maxwell has a roommate in her cell, is monitored, and someone is always with her while she's in jail. Now, a report by Daily Mail claims that the 58-year-old is being moved from cell to cell as authorities are terrified someone will try to kill her. Former warden Cameron Lindsay said, to take someone out like that, that will be a badge of honor in the subculture of prisons. Robbie, are paper sheets too high of a thread count for this monster?
Protect her at all costs. And with that, the reason I say that is she's got a lot of information to give. Everybody knows it. Everybody cannot wait to hear what she's going to dish. Apparently, she is going to dish. What's amazing to me, Matty Ice, okay, and Francis, you've almost finished the documentary, right?
Yeah, I'm most of the way through it.
If you finish the documentary, what amazes me is how did they wait so long to go after her? I mean, I just can't believe they let it slide for this long. It's going to be fascinating to see the different shit that comes out. And there's a lot of very powerful people very scared right now.
Yeah.
Protect her at all costs and then let her suffer.
Yeah. After she sings like a bird, then.
Exactly. Then let her suffer. Absolutely.
Yeah, the prison justice system, and I'm talking about the system of justice within prison, is something that always fascinates me. The fact that, car thieves and armed robbers feel like people who have wronged children, that it's their job within prison to hurt those people, right? That there's this system of like checks and balances. In a way, it seems hypocritical to me. It's like, well, just because your crime was nonviolent or whatever, does that make you all of a sudden the moral arbiter of people whose crimes you deem worse? I don't think that it's right for prisoners to have to face beatings or death or bodily harm, any of that bad stuff in prison. And I think that prison reform is an important thing. Having said that, I feel like, if you had a kid who was part of the Ghislane Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein ring, and you knew that she was in prison and you heard that people were in that prison were looking to take a hit out on her, maybe you'd feel some sense of justice from that. Maybe prison itself, the walls of a prison are not enough. So I don't know. It's hard to know for me.
A personal story here. Chris Reardon, a guy who used to work out, he used CCD and all that. He was very involved in my town growing up. Found out to be the biggest pedo in Massachusetts state history. He was put in jail, I think, like 10 years ago, and I think he was killed in jail actually. So, but good riddance to that dude, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's for people in prison. It's true. It's kind of like an honor if they do kill her. I mean, with the credibility that they would get for it, it's fucked up. But shit.
Yeah. All right, we certainly did end on a dark note there, fellas. Thank you. Yeah, Jesus.
Everybody go have a good day now.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Thank you. This is Wednesday edition. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Peace. See you then.
Bye.